Alright, what's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Hegshot and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to look at two pistols that are amongst two of our favorite pistols in our collection. As a matter of fact, the Sig Legion is Mrs Hegshot's favorite shooting pistol and the Beretta M9A3 is mine, and we're going to compare both of these. The Sig Legion for the longest time was my favorite shooting pistol. Really my favorite pistol on the market in general, just because of all of the features that it offered, until I got the Beretta M9A3 and it ups it just a little bit in my opinion. So we're going to compare and contrast these, take you to the range a little bit, show you some range footage actually throughout, and just kind of tell you pros and cons of each. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. First link down below is to my brand new channel where I'm hanging out with you guys a ton, playing some Call of Duty, hanging out, chatting, and also I am doing music, man. So if you'd like to join me over there, please, man, hit the link, come over, subscribe. Love to hang out with you guys and talk to y'all a little bit more, and actually a lot more because I'm streaming quite a bit over there, okay? Get all of our patrons and subscribers. If you're not subscribed here as well, just hit that red button down below. We really appreciate your support. All right, so let's look at the specs like we always do, and then we'll go throughout the features. So overall length on the 229 is 7.4 inches. On the Beretta M9 is 8.7. Width, 1.5, 1.5. 5.4 inches high for the Sig, and 5 inches high on the Beretta. Barrel is 3.9 on the Sig, 5 inches on the Beretta. 32 ounces and 33.4 ounces. So these are not lightweights. These aren't something I would consider a great inside the waistband carry. If you're in an outside the waistband carry state, South Carolina now is, by the way, which is awesome news, then you can do that. And these are very viable for that, okay? So outside the waistband, carry primarily is where I'd say these guns shine as far as that, and excellent range guns. So let's walk around the Sig P229 here really quick. This, of course, being the Legion, has some upgrades over a regular 229. You have this these nice x-ray sights, and this is one of my favorite sight pictures on the planet. They're called x-ray sights, and basically a blacked out tritium rear sight with that high vis green front sight there that is also tritium set up with night sights. All right, so really cool. Love the sight picture here during the day, especially that green just pops right out at you, so I really love that. So the one here is a little bit older. This is the old PVD finish, which there was some issues with. Some users had some issues with it. Mine has held up pretty well, although I've had a slight discoloration under the rails right there. Maybe a little bit up on top, but pretty dang slick looking. I love the coloration of this gun. It's incredible. Double to single action right here, and the single action on this gun is awesome. So if you're looking at something a little bit more comparable in size to the Beretta, you would look at something like the 226, which comes in a single action only, or the double to single action that you see right here. Here's your hammer release right here. So basically if you have the hammer back, by the way, both guns have been safety checked, but basically you just pull this decocker down on the slide and it will set your hammer safely back into place in double action mode there. Slide stop right here. All your controls are really flush fitting to the gun, which is nice. G10 grips, checkering all the way around, and then you have checkering on the front strap right there, and then of course on the back strap as well. And both guns come with non-standard boxing. So this one actually, when I got it back in the day, it came with a nice case, came with a Sig Legion coin, 3 magazines. This one actually has 3 15-round magazines right there with the same type of finish on there. So it makes it really nice. You actually feel like you're getting something really kind of custom-like, although it is a production gun, so that's pretty cool. Front and rear slide serrations, as you can see, and this is before they started doing any kind of optics cuts or anything like that. So like I said, I've had this one for a little while. You got a nice beaver tail right here. So the bore axis is going to be a little bit higher, but like I said, man, this is one of the best shooting guns in our collection. Hands down. All right, checkering on the front of the trigger guard, under the trigger guard, high undercut, and the gun feels incredible in the hand, man. When we first bought this gun, man, this was like stepping up compared to everything else we had done up until that point. This gun was well above and beyond, and for the price point, you would hope to get that kind of quality, and you definitely get it in the Sig Legion right there. Okay, so there's some of your features and stuff. Let's move over to the Beretta. So the Beretta's been around a long time, a lot of different variations. This is the newest one, the M9A3. lost out in the Army contract, but man, what a gun. So you can see you have this exposed barrel right here. It actually uses a very similar locking block system to the original Walther P38s from World War II. So that tells you how good that system actually is, that they're still using a system pretty much just like that. Really, really impressive. Another thing that's impressive about this gun is just how easy it is to work the controls on it. I mean, you wouldn't believe how easy it is to get this slide back, especially with the hammer back. It's such a pleasure to actually just run this gun, and the function and the fit and the finish is amazing. So this one is a little bit different. You have kind of that tri FDE coloration in there. Almost has more of an olive look on the steel part of the frame, with a double to single action as well. And your decocker is actually up on the slide as opposed to right here where your hand grip is. So basically what you do, you pull that down. There's a couple variations of this. I like that one because it just automatically resets. That is essentially your safety along with the internal safeties right there, but it'll safely drop that hammer down for you. All right, so if you want to carry it just like that, you absolutely could. You do have a rail system as well on this one. It's a little bit longer than the Sig Legion. So if we look at these, again, the 226 would be more comparable to the M9A3 if we were doing that. But just slide to slide, if we just raise it up just a little bit, you can see the Beretta is significantly longer. Other than that, they're pretty similar. Both guns, and one correction I have to make is both guns are actually 5.4 inches. The Beretta M9 is 5 inches. This one is 5.4, but you can see there's still a little bit of difference there. So not sure where that discrepancy comes in, because most of the time it's not that significant. Maybe they just don't count this magazine base plate, which this one right here is actually a 17 round magazine. It's not extended or anything like that. So not too sure. Maybe they just don't count that. I don't know. It's still part of it, so whatever. You can see you have a lanyard over here on the bottom of the M9A3. The magazine release, I really love this, man. They got it extended. They have it kind of pushed back towards you as the shooter, and those magazines just come right out. Sand-resistant mags and all of that. And this one's going to come with a nice little case that comes with 3 magazines as well. Both of these guns at the $1,000 price point, maybe a little bit more sometimes, okay? Beaver tail right there, all right, and it has a very similar type of grip and bore axis, although maybe a little bit lower than the Sig, but both of them feel really, really nice in the hand. You can see your slide stop right here. Slide serrations are not deeply as cut, but you can see how it kind of concaves on the top here, so you really couldn't get that same type of effect. The thing is, with these decockers being up on, or the controls being up on the slide, I rarely grab the actual serrations as much as I do the controls to actually work the slide there, okay? So that's just one thing to consider. One thing that really that this gun stands out to me is the sights, and it has night sights from the factory. A little bit maybe more narrow than the Sig, as far as my perception is a little bit narrower. But when I look at them, they're pretty much the same as far as your U-notch or square notch in the rear. They look very similar, but for some reason, this just allows me, just because this picture is so clean and so good, it leaves very little room for error. And the trigger is very good too. So it provides a shooting experience unlike anything I had really ever had up until this point. I feel very comfortable with this gun at almost any decent size range with a pistol, man. It is really, really impressive. You can see your takedown lever right there. I'm not going to take these guns down. I've done reviews on them. If you want to check that out, you can. But it's just a really interesting gun, and it also just, it does a great job at the range. Let's pull the triggers on them, and then we'll talk about some of the pros and cons between them. All right, so let's try the double action. This is going to be pretty heavy, 10 pounds, 4 ounces. But the thing about the double action, just to touch on that really quick, is it's still smooth. So there's double action guns. Yeah, it's heavy, but it has a really smooth type of pull through, and it feels really good. The single action, though, is where it is at on really both these guns, to be quite honest. 4 pounds, 4 ounces, and that is consistent. It's got a nice travel. 4 pounds, 9 ounces, but there was a few ounces added there, I think, at the beginning. You can see, there's your wall. There's your break. There's your reset. Amazing trigger, and they do trigger work in the Legion series. That is another benefit of this gun. I didn't talk about the magazine release, but man, it does work good. It's right there. It's not as far angled back towards you as the shooter again, but with a little bit of adjustment, I can get to it pretty dang easily right there. And there's your takedown lever too on that one. And the checkering on that gun is just fantastic. So now let's try it on the M9A3. Again, make sure that we're clear. Try it in double action first. Again, that says 8 pounds. You can see this one actually, let's see. Yeah, 8 pounds, 6 ounces, and that's really good. Compared to the Sig, you can feel it. It's just that 2 pounds, man, that makes a big difference in double action, especially when you're not used to shooting in that mode. So that is really nice. And then the single action, dude, man, what a sweet gun. 4 pounds, 11 ounces. Let's try it one more time. 4 pounds, 12. So both of them are sub 5 pound triggers. Let me show you what that looks like. Hit the wall. Hear a little bit of grip maybe there. Boom. Reset. Not as precise as the Legion, I will give you that there, Mrs Hegshot, but it still has a very, very nice trigger pull and reset. I think where this gun wins as far as the trigger is that double action. Those 2 pounds makes a huge difference in double action mode. It really does. The grip texturing on this one, again, is nice, but these grips on the Legion feel a little bit more premium to me, which is something I think is fair when you're talking about guns as expensive as these are. Magazine release is better on the Beretta. I think the action and the way this gun, the racks, the slides, you know, actually working the gun to me is a little bit easier. And the reason I say that, you see how I camp my hand? I have smaller hands, of course, but whatever. See how much I have to camp my hand to get to decock it? On the Sig, help take the mag out, I really have to camp my hand to get it around to decock the pistol. So it makes it a little bit easier for me on the Beretta when it comes to that right there. All right. So the big thing, man, pros and cons, let's just talk about it. We've kind of already touched on it. This gun is an amazing shooter, dude. If that's something you want a really, really good shooting pistol, maybe a competition gun, the Beretta M9A3, dude, is awesome. Something you can trust your life to, a home defense gun. It already comes threaded right there, as you can see. This gun is absolutely incredible, man, and I trust this thing like no other at the range as far as getting shots consistently. Boom, 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 on target. This thing is really incredible. Love the coloration. I really like the mechanics of it, man. It's not something I would carry just because I like the striker fire guns as far as their consistent trigger pull each and every time. But if I had to have an outside the waistband gun, if I got a little bit better with my drawing from a holster with that double action, absolutely, I would definitely carry this gun. Fit and finish all the way around. I just think it's an awesome gun to have in the collection as far as that. The Sig to me is a little bit more premium feeling, a little bit more refined in some areas, especially in that trigger there. I like the sights better on the Sig. It has a nice feel. The double action I'm not a fan of though, when compared to the Beretta M9A3. To other guns, like let's say the FNX 45 Tactical, I much prefer this double action over that double action. But that 2 pounds on the Beretta just makes it a better shooter in that situation. But in the single action mode, this thing really, really shines, man, because it's so predictable. It's got such a nice reset. Everything on this gun is just super awesome. And the look of this gun, to me, it looks more premium, and the coloration and everything just looks better than the Beretta, but that's a personal type of opinion thing. One thing I will say about the Legion, they've made the controls so small that a lot of times when I'm A lot of times if I'm releasing this right here, my thumb, part of the fatty part of my thumb will actually get stuck in between the rail and that slide stop. When I push it down right there, it's a minor little thing, but I wish they would have made it a little bit bigger, kind of like the Beretta, because it's just easier to get to. And sometimes having it more flush to the frame isn't always a good thing. Maybe aesthetically it is, but as far as functionality, I much prefer that right there, and I prefer that right there. As far as the cons, guys, besides the cost, because they are super expensive, again, they are premium, more premium type of handguns though too, and you really feel it in the fit and finish with these guns, dude. Steel frames, soak up the recoil, really nice. I don't know what else to say. I really do love these guns for their roles and what I see the roles as. Again, home defense, range, self-protection, of course, those kinds of things. Not great carry guns, but rarely can you have all of those things in one gun. This is my favorite shooting gun right now. Mrs Hegshot's is the 229 Legion. I would love to hear what your opinion is down in the comments below. Which gun do you like better and why? Hit me up. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.